morning or afternoon. Um, Talking to you after purposefully sort of de-syncing myself for 2 or 3, 4 days. Mm. So tired of the whole thing because it takes anything and everything you have. You have to be aware of the whole thing 24/7, which takes a lot of willpower, mental power. Whereas you don't, because you have to you can't chill out, right? If you're lying on the couch, you still have to deal with the whole stuff that keeps like whirling around in your head, and your brain tries to keep making the connections, that give you the endorphins and everything that makes you feel good, right? In a biological sense, as you could say. I think obviously there's a lot more at stake or going on, but still, the principle counts. You get high off your own supply, and yeah, it's takes a toll. Definite toll. So, but while I was doing that, like taking a sabbatical break, other things started coming back to me, right? Like other things that happened concerning the synchronization, concerning awakenings, concerning soul groups, even. That's what I want to talk to you about today, soul groups. Because like a month ago, or 1.5 months ago, I'm gonna explain something real quick here. I hear voices, right? But I'm very skeptical of these things, because if I hear something in my head, I'm gonna be like, alright, I heard something. What did they say? Is it me? Is it something else? Am I going fucking batshit crazy? Right? All these things they go through my head, and I take them all one by one. And I go, what did they say? They said something like this. Oh, it connected to an exact thing I was thinking about. That's weird. Alright, it might be me, projecting other versions of myself, or other, just other versions of myself onto something else, externalizing something to be able to cope with it in a way that you couldn't before. Makes perfect psychological sense, right? So it could be that. I'm fine with that. Except it's around way too fucking much to be considered just a psychological concept. It happens in ways that are so direct, and so it feels like they're talking to your fucking soul, man. It's you ever been in a very crowded place, and like all of a sudden your eyes go up in somewhere and someone else is also looking at you, you have this direct bam, it's like that. It's like they talk to you in that way. So for me, after years and years and years of testing and being skeptical and thinking, oh, I'm going fucking crazy, I shouldn't be listening to these things, right? I should just no, go away. That's what I should be doing, or at least to a certain degree of common sense, if you have it. That's what you could be doing. But it's not. It's more. These things get me out of bed. These things push me to do things that I wouldn't otherwise do. Yeah. And we're not alone, in this. I'm not even alone in my own body. You'd think you are, but you're not. You're not. You are a collection of experiences and of people in your past life and in this life that have helped you. Your soul group, the people you connect with on a daily basis, the people that really love you, like you have a favorite baseball team or something. It's something like that, and you're like the captain of this said baseball team, and they all care about you. They all want your life, to be perfect. And as you agreed upon before you came here, it's like we have this super cool plan, and you're fucking it up, and we love you, but seriously, get the fuck out of bed and do shit, And it's cool. But it can be kind of weird as well, because the point I'm getting at with this whole soul group thing is, to be short, like what I believe is that we as people are obviously a collective consciousness, which means there are multiple, how do you say, personalities inside you already, right? Because you have the kid you, the adolescent you, the grown-up you, the already, the skeptical you, the happy you, all these, because you can say something when you're happy, and you totally mean it, you're like, yeah, I really want to do that, and then the next day, you feel shit, for some reason, and you don't want to do it anymore. It's equal, right? So that's already two personalities. They're already part of you. It makes what makes up you. So you have these layers already going on, and if you're in conversation with someone, you can say yes, but still in the back of your mind be like, wait, no, I don't want. See, that's already, it's conflicting. So how weird is it to say that there's even more layers on top of that, Because you have your higher self, and like the people who've done truffles or something like that, or done a lot of meditation and have encountered either their guardian spirit or their own higher self, or stuff like that. There is so many more layers of consciousness than what I just described here. So either the voices I'm hearing, the people that are talking to me or trying to give me something, are still versions of me, right? Or it's actual other people, and it feels like that. But that's where it gets tricky, because you have these layers, once again, because everything is an extension of yourself, right? Your own universe is the reaction to your vibrations, to what you're sending out, right? To your waves. So, oof. How do I explain this? So either this is just the format that works for me, because I'm very externally focused, I'd rather help someone else than help myself, which is kind of stupid and silly, but it's true, because I'd rather get something or improve myself by helping someone else rather than helping me. It just seems more efficient, right? Like, I help you, you help me, we both grow, instead of me just pumping myself full of energy and just going beyond, and then I won't have anyone else to talk to anymore, because I didn't share my experiences, and that's stupid. That's fucking stupid. It's lonely. So that's why, as I said, the soul group thing, or the voices I hear, could be a logical explanation to, have someone to talk to on my own level, rather than, because I don't have, I don't have many people that, actually I do, never mind, but it's hard to find people that you can talk to on this level, right? The closest people I've met were the homeless guys I was talking about. I was just went out to the mall, and these people could talk about this, in a serious manner, and like I said, with the eyes meeting across the room of people, those kinds of moments I have with them a lot. They talk about something, and they come down to a point, and they have this look in their eyes, and I'm just looking at them, and I'm like, know exactly what you're talking about, this specific feeling of understanding, or being I know where you're coming from as a person, right? I know what you've experienced or something similar, so I know that what you're saying now makes perfect sense if you link it, to that. But if you would listen to them without the whole context going on. Like, actually, like, what the fuck is he actually saying? I don't understand. It's like two people that have known each other for 10 or 20 years talking to each other. As a normal person, as an outsider, listening to that, you wouldn't even be able to understand what the fuck they're talking about, because it keeps going. It's not logical, it's emotional. And that's the thing. So the more underlying theories you have or experience you have concerning the soul groups, concerning collective consciousness, concerning the law of attraction, concerning energy waves, or energy in general, that we are energy, and we are just a wave pattern continuously expanding itself. All these things, like, then you will be able to understand what I'm talking about, and that I'm not actually crazy. I'm the biggest fucking critic there is about this stuff, and yet here I am. But I think I'm gonna round it down. The point was, lying in my bed, totally fucking minding my own business, right? I wasn't doing anything esoterical. I was just trying to go to sleep. The second I lie down in my bed, this really sharp voice, like from the left side of my wall, or over there, it just like penetrates my whole mind, like, case. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? And it's a voice, and it keeps saying sorry for like 10 minutes or something. It keeps going, because I was really upset, and I was angry. It's this whole sync stuff and this hysterical stuff. It's just, fuck, I don't want to deal with this anymore. It makes me upset, it makes me tired, and this and that, and. So it keeps apologizing for 10 minutes for sort of interrupting me in my, my rebelliousness, being like, no, I don't want to do this. And they succeed. So after a while, I start feeling better, and like, who are you? What are you doing here? And then all of a sudden, my computer pops on. Right? I shut it down. I shut my computer down completely, and it pops on, and it starts playing a fucking YouTube video, and I'm sitting there, like, lying in bed, like, nah. And this voice is serious. It's all of a sudden my gaze is locked on my chair, and this I still had a joint lying there, or half a joint or something, and it's just like, sit in your chair, and I was like, no. And then after half an hour, I was like, alright, and this voice just kept going, right? And at some point, I watched the video, and I chilled out a bit, and smoked a bit of a joint, and stuff like that. So I became more at ease with the whole concept. And then I was like, wait a second, why the fuck am I sitting in my chair at 2 o'clock in the evening or night or whatever? What the fuck am I doing? So I went back to bed, and then it was like these voices were talking to me, like, again, like, split second. It was like I was in this hallway or something. It was sort of echoing, and I had a couple of people that were trying to talk to me, but it was very obvious that these people were, it was like a soul group meeting, like telepathic meeting I was just sucked into, and they were sort of testing out if I had, if I didn't run away from the whole thing, because you can close down mentally, right, not participate in the thing that's going on, and then they can't talk to you anymore, because you desync your wavelength, and they can't reach you anymore. So that's what I think the part before was. They try to up my vibrations, or at least like tinker with it a little bit, so that I can connect with them. And at the point where I can connect with them, they see, if the information they're giving me is resonating with me, right? It did resonate, but I tried for a couple of minutes to talk with them and understand what they were trying to say to me. And the only thing that became really clear was that there was this older lady who was sort of skeptical about the whole thing. Like, I know you're not going to be able to to participate in this conversation, but we're going to try anyway. And there was this younger dude, I think, and this other like around 40-year-old male who was really enthusiastic about getting me in, and like, yeah, you can do this, So yeah, they sort of tried to contact me, or tried to, it's like it was just like a sort of a small invitation to see how things would turn out. And I think I lasted, as I said, like for 5 minutes or maybe even less, and then I was already freaking out so much that I was like, alright, I'm trying to have this super normal conversation with you about stuff that I have no clue about. And it's, either I'm lacking acceptance in the moment, or it's probably trust and acceptance, right? Trust that the concepts that are flowing through your head, that they're solid and you don't have to question them, and which is also a big part of the whole sync stuff I talk about, because your mind just clicks into another way of being. It makes different connections, and everything just flows, right? As long as you don't question yourself and question the things, it can keep flowing. But if you interrupt that too many times, then the waves just flip. Instead of going, just it fucks up. So yeah. There's a lot of information in one video. Also a lot of different concepts going on, and a lot of different views on how the world could or should or does work. Talking about spirits, soul groups, God, synchronicities. You can maybe even call it, like devil worship, because it's, voices and you're smoking a drug. Right? It could be anything, but that's the whole beauty of it. I think it's a collection of everything that is to help explain a certain concept, and help think outside the box, and not be like, either I'm a Christian, or I'm a Buddhist, or I'm a Hinduist, or I'm this, or I'm that. No, you are everything and anything. And the only thing that really truly matters is the concept that goes into your head, right? And the way you interpret it. So if voodoo says one thing, that doesn't mean it's not true in Christianity in another way, or actually the same way, just interpreted in a different way. See what I mean? It's as long as it makes sense to you, it's perfect. And don't question it. Try to be, humble, and accept that, as the great Socrates always said, you know nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing. You might have all the experience in the world, and you just need one experience or one person to show you that, in fact, you don't know anything, right? Just if you take someone out of their comfort zone, it's how it works. And the more you step out of it, the more you realize that you actually know less and less and less, and the more you realize that you don't know as much as other people, or don't. That's when you start accepting that it doesn't really matter anymore. Because the required knowledge for the required situation will always come if you're calm enough. Because you'll never face something that you don't have the qualities or the capabilities to deal with, ever, in any way. You might just barely lose, or you might win by great lengths, but there's always a fighting chance with whatever is floating around in your head. And the whole concept of everything's meant to be and there is no coincidence, la da da da. It's that. Except we're still human, we still have a choice, right? So you still determine, your own timeline in that sense. And thing is, you might think you're avoiding a certain situation by making a choice like, oh, I don't want to participate in this, I'm not going to do it. No, because anything like with school, right, or with doing your taxes, that you could make the choice not to do it, but it will come back later, and you'll have no choice but to do it. Except then you'll probably have more experience, more confidence, or something to help you through it, right, in a way that you didn't have before. Because you already delayed it once, so, either has to be easier or it stays the same. But yeah, don't question. Just think about these things, and yeah, if you also have, voices in your head talking to you, freaking you out, please let me know. Right? I can probably rationalize it for you, make you feel like less of an idiot or less of a crazy person, because you're not. You're not a crazy person, trust me. I'm a crazy person, but I'm also rational. So yeah, I guess that's it. Soulgroups, Ascension, Awakening, yeah, confidence. Yeah. See you later.